What is happening, you guys? And welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate. I am your humbled host, El Capitan. And tonight on the tailgate party that never seems to stop, we got primetime football coming. We are going to turn the page in more ways than one. It has been a struggle for this team these last 3 weeks, and no shortage of share of blame. In some ways, Mike McDaniel shoulders plenty of the blame. Other ways, freaking strength and conditioning coach, offensive coordinator. Maybe the defense kind of doesn't shoulder too much blame because they at least have been doing some stuff. They could get some turnovers to help some guys out, but whatever. Anywho, we're going to look into the Steelers. We're going to talk about some stuff. We, as Dolphins fans, are all feeling at least a little bit more optimistic because Tua's projected to play. Hasn't been 100%, but I don't see why it wouldn't. If he didn't play this Sunday night, I would really go, uh-oh. Like, it would be weird to me. But there's a lot to look at. This isn't a layup game at all. The Steelers' defense is pretty good. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Steelers always seem to have a good defense. Even without Watt being there, who's still on IR, they're still a good defense. They got that defensive line can create all kinds of pressure. Just bring it forward. We're going to go into that stuff. We can also look at some of the things on offense that they do that we should, A, watch out for, and B, some things I think we can expose with our defense. Also, matchups to look out for between our team and theirs, offense versus defense, so on and so forth. Some stuff. I went ahead and looked at the film for the Steelers versus the Bucks, which, God, Brady looks terrible. He looks, he was always Brady that would fall down when pressure got to him or throw the ball away, but he usually could overcome that stuff. But then again, when you're bringing pressure with only 4 and they're going in max protect and their linebackers can cover pretty good, this is going to be difficult, and we're going to get into all that. Also, guys, I got some articles. We'll go in, talk a little bit about what Coach said today. Tua did some interviews today. Also, Tyreek Hill did an interview that wasn't released, but I got a Barry Jackson article that goes into that. And all kinds of good stuff. So, guys, make sure you're hitting the like button on your way in and supporting the channel in all ways. Donate. We appreciate donations, super chat, all that stuff. But hitting the like button is the easiest way to help support the channel because it gets the algorithm cooking. Also, if you guys are watching on Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, do us the courtesy. Come over to YouTube, subscribe over here on YouTube, and help the channel grow that way. And check out all the great content. Now, as far as Tonk 7 TMI Tuesdays, we're still trying to get it on track. But like I said, Tonk's got a lot of family stuff really going on right now and some personal things. But we will still have it here when he's back. But you guys can catch Color tomorrow night on Thursday Night Color Commentary. You guys always know that. Saturday, you'll catch Ali. He'll be back in action this Saturday for sure. And then every other day of the week, you got me, El Capitan, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll get Brandon the Bookie on this Friday and stuff like that. Cash App, Venmo is the Fins Tailgate. Always help support the show in that way. We really appreciate it. You guys can also support by hitting the link in the description for Fanatics, official partner, officially licensed gear. You guys can get all your great sporting apparels for all different types of, not just the Dolphins, but even if you're a Bills fan in the chat or something like that, they got your garbage there too. So you can go ahead and buy your Bills garbage by hitting this link and support the show in that way. You can also buy some TFTG gear. We got the link in the description for that. You guys already know. And then we got secondary links for the specialty items like the hats and the flag, T-shirts, hoodie. It's getting colder than a mug. Get yourself a TFTG hoodie and beanie to stay warm. And then also, guys, our partners over at Backroom Collections, which if you buy any gear from them, make sure to use offer code hashtag TFTG and you'll get 10% off all their cool stuff. So yeah, guys, hit the like button. Shout out to everybody who got into chat, who's already here and here early. Carla, under the title trade, offensive tackle trade, MGTD bashes Tua endlessly, and even saying Teddy and just as good. It is sickening behavior, especially seeing Tua is the best rated QB in the NFL. I don't know. I kind of misunderstood you a little bit there, Carl, but shout out. We're going to find out, because I certainly don't, to Color's point, don't want to see the excuse of, oh, he's got to shake some rust off, because we can ill afford any more losses after losing 3 in a row. This is the AFC, as you guys know. I don't know if we can lose more than 3 games and get in the playoffs. I think 11 wins is the only way you even get a wild card. So, really, I would hope we wouldn't lose another game. And in the first 3 weeks, we're thinking about winning the AFC East, which we still could, because we already have a victory over Buffalo, and we could see them again, and, you know, they drop one more, we could catch up and usurp them in this way. It is a hard battle to overcome at this point, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. But we certainly can't drop one on Sunday night. What's happening, Pamela? And I'm going to get into the reasons of how not only is this game important Sunday night, but how really important it is. And, you know, a lot that's riding on it. There's all these other narratives, but how effective, listen, a win is going to right the ship in some ways. It's not going to heal all the wounds from the last 3 losses, but a loss is going to literally, it's all but derailed at this point. And I'll go into some of that. What's happening in California? Scott, John, what's happening? Pamela, what's going on? Lucky 7, what's happening? Hello from Colombia. Shout out. Hit the like button. From Colombia. Word up. Canes, Dolphins, 1989. What's happening, bud? Yes, we're turning the page, Pamela. We will continue to have some context, but we're turning the page. It's time to get it going. I own a Springer. Yes, I do. I do own a Springer. His name is Maximus, and he's a doofus, bro. He's a sweet dog. We love him. Great family dog. But, man, disobedient because we spoil him. Kind of like my kids. I spoil, you know, the things I love, and, I mean, it's my fault. What can I say? You know, but it is what it is. I love the dog, but I wish he wasn't such a bad boy sometimes. But he's just he's a total doofus, bro. He's all dog, that's for sure. Most, what's happening, buddy? Oh, really? Miss Finn's had something to say, Most? I'll have to get on that. I wasn't, you know, I was taking care of stuff. Marino's Goats, salute, buddy. What's going on? Dylan, how's it going? Bentley. Tua and company, 35-0. I like it, Bentley. I like the confidence. Yeah, I got my Springer from no tree chicken hunting, but he would without a doubt. But no, I got him from Georgia, and they breed him only for hunting from the breeder I got. That's why he's so rambunctious, and you know, I cut him a little bit of slack, but I'd like to take him hunting. But again, he's kind of a doofus. So, like, I couldn't hunt anything on the ground. I'd have to hunt bird dogs, which he's for, so he'd chase it up because I don't want him to get shot. And he's smart enough to train, but I'm going to be real, I'm too lazy to do it. You know, just want to win. Dolphins season starts this weekend. Well, yes, in some ways. Really, it's kind of, I don't know if it's a starting of the season. There's kind of some making up to do, but we're going to get into that. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Just want to win. Tree rats, squirrels. No, he's talking about iguanas, yeah. Looking at the rest of the schedule, which games are our biggest ifs? Well, I mean, I don't know. The Green Bay game, I mean, right now I think we would win it, but who knows what Green Bay will be when we see them. The Chargers, which their offense is struggling. I guess Herbert's still playing banged up. Their weapons are banged up, but they'll probably be healthier then, and their defense is doing pretty decent, locking up front and in the back. So those are some games. The Niners, and in some ways, I'd like to say we should walk over the Niners, but oddly enough, the Niners are winning games they should lose and losing games they should win. But because of what I've seen out of Robert Saleh and the Jets, a team I definitely think we could have beat even without Tua, I don't know if, kind of like how Saleh could scheme against a former colleague, how Shanahan and his, the whole San Francisco thing, what will they know about Mike McDaniel and what he could do? I would like to hope that on the other side of that coin, Mike McDaniel would know how to beat them. But when I see what just happened with Saleh, I don't feel so comfortable. But it's a double victory to beat that team because we own their first-round pick. We beat them. We're helping ourselves, not only winning, but helping ourselves with their pick. So that's a must-win. But those are some questionable games. And honestly, right now, look, nothing's a gimme for the Dolphins. I think we can execute 10 times better now that Tua's coming in here, and we're gonna get into those details about that too. But I mean, I gotta get. I always have confidence and even a little arrogance, but I gotta have this team, doing their thing. I'm always gonna predict the win. I'm gonna trash talk with the best of them, but I need this team to back us up, us fans. These last 3 weeks during these losing games or streak or whatever the hell you want to call it, we've done our part. We're supporting. So let's get that figured out. Jan, what's happening, bud? How's it going? Salute. Yep, hit the like button. That's right. You have a chocolate lab and an English cream golden retriever. Fuck yeah. I love dogs, man. Dogs are awesome. They're doofuses. Threw in the towel for the hurricane season already, but I love the jack. Thanks, bud. I actually got this. Oh, you might want to check this out. I got the full get up, dog. I got the full get up with the polo and this. I got this with my son with his very first ever game to go see. We saw the Canes win their game last year, I think it was. Anyhow, yeah. Listen, I think we're all excited about the Canes. I still am about the future. But I tempered my expectations on this year. I'm not going to intently... It's hard for me to watch college, dude, because, when those kids lose, it hurts my soul because they're kids. When guys are getting paid for it, it's all out the window for me now. I'll give a rookie some leeway, a second guy some leeway. You hitting year 3 or the end of year 2, gloves are off with me, bro. You're getting millions of dollars. You better do your job because I got to go do mine. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it is. I can be pissy about it. But that's why it's hard for me to watch, college because there's so many things out of people's control with transfer portals and these stacked teams and building programs and stuff. So I can deal with another bad season or a shaky season with the Hurricanes for what I perceive is going to be an amazing future over the next couple of years with this team as they build through the ranks. But yeah, I'm patient. I'm a patient guy. California. Raven. What's happening? Billy Bozo. Bro, again, we are not scoring in the third. We are struggling to get points. Yeah, color is on point with that. If we don't score in the third, it seems like that's not the kiss of death, but it's definitely a bad situation. It doesn't spell a good thing. Shout out to Josh Tito with the $5 donation. Appreciate it. What does Tua add to this offense coming back off from his hiatus? So it is a good question. Perceptively and statistically, it says a few things. Now, granted, Armstead hasn't been there, and also Armstead will be here for Tua and was there for him before. So when you measure the offense we've been seeing and the offense we've seen and can project to see, if you got all that, I expect better. Things Tua has been doing really well this year, which is something we've all kind of come down on him last year, is his ability to push the ball down the field. So he's been really great with his accuracy downfield, hitting big plays downfield. We haven't really had that these last few games. Skyler, got some good PI penalties and tried pushing it down there, which I applaud the young man. We certainly didn't get a lot of that with Teddy and the timeliness. But even more importantly is Tua's ability to hit those quick passes to make up for the deficiencies in the O-line with the time in the pocket. And there's a lot of factors of why that is. Number one, I think that was Tua's strength, him being accurate, putting the ball where it needs to be. Teddy, put a lot of balls behind guys, and he can kind of settle in, but he's not coming out like I expect Tua. Even when he's putting them on accuracy, Tua's are far and away superior with his accuracy, as you guys know. But I think that some of the context of why that is just because of the amount of work they've done. They've had the relationship with the wide receivers, Jalen, as you guys know, for years, all the way back to Bama, and then Tyreek Hill doing everything on the offseason to get that type of relationship with him. Craycraft, you can see that they're on. When you're a quarterback and you have a pass catcher, there's routes, there's this, but there's these nuances and being able to live inside each other's head. And I don't know if you guys, what kind of jobs you guys do, but like when I used to have my flooring company or my remodeling company, and I would be training a helper, I would say, you're gonna do these things I ask you, and then I'm gonna ask you to do things here and there. I said, you'll know when you've got it when you can start reading my thoughts, when you can predict what I'm gonna need to do next. And that's kind of the same situation with pass catchers and quarterbacks. They gotta know, hey, I know my guy. He knows that the safety was on his outside shoulder, so he knows that I see that nose and that he's gonna be turn around on, say, like a curl, and he knows that don't jump to the outside, jump to the inside, because that's where I'm gonna put the football. And the wide receiver also knows to expect that. That's how when someone else comes in there, the wide receiver's sitting, waiting to see the ball in the air and decide, did he put it behind me? Did he put it in front of me? Whereas when they have that relationship, he's going to say, I know he's going to do this. And so those are seconds and moments. And that's kind of the eliteness of operation that this quarterback can give us. So that's what I say will be what can return back by getting him. I don't want to see. I'm giving no excuses for rust. No rust. I mean, you get one drive of rust. That's it. The rest of the game need to be clicking, because his defense ain't gonna give you time to settle in and figure it out. That's for damn sure. A lot depends on the O-line. I'm 100% don't have trust in this O-line as is. That is no lie. I feel you on that, brother. Dylan. Danny, what's happening? Newfoundland, salute. Barry, what's going on? It hurts bad when Miami loses. I feel that, Cav. Yeah, I know, man. It's soul crushing because it's something else with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Miss Fins, what's happening? Salute. How you doing, Miss Fins? Pamela again. Guys, make sure if you Love the show, all the good stuff. Join the membership. Be like Miss Fins. Be like Bobby Supreme. We in here. That's right, Bobby. What's going on? What's happening, Dolphins Realtor? Good news is Finn's tailgate's on. That's the good news. Got you, dog. Got you. Try hard. What's going on? You hate all your coworkers? Yeah. I hear it. It happens. It'll be that way sometimes. Villain Martin, what's going on? Pseudo Spike. You talking chess. We need someone with a higher than 13 Wonderlick. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is, bro. Yeah, Newfoundland says, others have said it. Tua masks the deficiencies of the O-line. That's a, you know what? It's not a fact because we've seen that. Then again, the O-line we've seen is easily marginally different than the one we saw when Tua was out there. Even if Armstead was in at some points, he's been playing injured, as everybody knows. Austin Jackson hasn't been in there the whole time. What will that offensive line look like when he returns, which I think we'll expect him to return, or at least we should. But and what kind of Armstead will we get if he does play? Will he be a lot healthier, or will he be kind of what we've expected as of late? This is a good litmus test in this game to see what you're talking about. Does he mask some of these deficiencies? I agree with you, he does with the quick passing game. But this is a good opponent to go against in a quick passing game to test our grit. Not good as in you can expect a lot of points and do that, but if we can against these linebackers, against this defense, you're going to need to get that quick passing game going because they're good against the run on the inside for sure and the outside because their linebackers play good. They use sometimes 3 safeties on the field. They really get mixed up. Now that Minka's going to be out here, it's going to be a lot different than what I saw from the tape from the the Bucs game. This is a hard defense to go against. It's the strength of their team for sure. Their offense is porous, but they have playmakers. Claypool had 2 touchdowns last week. This ain't a team you can walk through. Miami Dolphins have, right now we shouldn't say we should walk through anyone. I think we can and will. But I have data. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Billy, Bozo, that's one of my matchups to watch. One that I think if we find with Gesicki, we should exploit. What's up, DTA? What's going on? And Zoni, what's happening? Hit the like button, everybody. Bill Reynolds, what's going on? Still waiting for Ross to fire coaches and players soon, maybe on Monday. So, Bill, to me, this win is so much more important because of what'll happen if we lose. And not that people are going to get fired, you know what I'm saying, mid-season. That's just, I don't foresee that happening. But, dude, you lose 4 games. You really can only afford to lose 6 games all year. We got 11 games left. You lose 1, that means you got to go 8-2 over the rest. That is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's asking a lot. You still got to play your entire division again, which, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But still, we need to just stack some wins and find some breathing room. Because if we put together some losses, and I might as well just go into it now, the importance of how much a win is versus to how importantly bad a loss will be. And what I mean by that is, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Xavier Howard, you've got leaders in this locker room that are vocal and will be vocal. And if we're going down 4 losses, not only is the boat, or not only is the train off the rails as far as what the hell's going on, dropping to opponents we should be beaten. You know what I'm saying? We had them in the Vikings game. We shouldn't have lost to the Jets. Okay, it's just a fact. I'm not pleased with that at all. But okay. But now you drop won on prime time. On prime time to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, you know, they don't have Watt. They still got a good defense, but they've only won 2 games. Let's be real. They're working out a rookie. You know, they're in all the reasons of rookie quarterback, inconsistency. You know, his ball placement is spotty. Putting it on the outside, he throws it away or too far. It's uncatchable. He dives some in the dirt in the short game. He gets a little happy feet. You know, there's stuff about Pickett that says young guy. He can run the ball a little bit and ain't scared to. And look, he's in concussion protocol. Like we cannot. This is a game we gotta get for a lot of reasons and should get. But if we lost it on primetime, do you think freaking Tyreek Hill's going to be happy with a loss on primetime in front of the world? You think Dolphins fans are going to be all right? The narrative amongst the community of Dolphins, what happens in a loss on Sunday, is, well, we got Tua back and we're still losing. Mike McDaniel, Tua, blow it up. Like, I don't want this. I don't want that conversation. I'm not into having it. I would rather have a win and a sound win to calm this fan base down, to put this season back in perspective and start taking care of business against a team we should. We should beat the hell out of these Steelers. The defense should come up with some big plays. This offense should hum if we get our O-line guys back. And I don't want to see no rust shaking off Tua. I want to see better play calling. I want to see better special teams. Listen, the Steelers' special teams ain't nothing to sneeze at. Boswell can hit them for 50+. And Sims, their guy Sims, he's good on kickoff. Damn, he almost housed one on kickoff. And he's good on punt returns. Our punt team, coverage team and kickoff coverage teams, they need to do their job. Kicker needs to get their act in order. This team needs to get right. And if they embarrass us on Sunday night primetime with Tua and the offensive weapons back out there, this fan base will start to eat itself alive in a way that I don't know if El Capitan can stop it. It could derail us in some ways. And again, if we take this loss Sunday, 2 more losses, the season's all but over. Maybe we can get in with 10 wins. But do you want to take that shot? How many times have we got to get 10 wins and miss the playoffs, Dolphin fans, before we say, fuck that, we need 11? We need 11. We need 11. Q, what's happening? Hold my hiney. What's up? Ace of Spades. O-line better block. Better, yeah. Tua's career could be on the line. Absolutely. I mean, I don't. Listen, Tua takes first of all, guys, Tua takes another questionable concussion type hit, and a spotter hits him on prime time. That'll be back-to-back prime time games where the whole world watches that Tua gets injured. The narrative will all be but sealed that he is a concussion or, injury prone. The freaking NFL alone, because of the heat, this shit was on CNN and MSNBC. The freaking political people were talking about football, and they weren't talking about politics and football. They're talking about concussions. You kick that hornet's nest again, and accidental whatever. God, just pray it don't happen, because we do not need the shit firestorm that comes with it. That's kind of my point. This is all the stuff that's riding on this, guys. It really is. Tua catches a concussion there, whether he can come back or not, and does concussion protocol, and it can come back in 3 weeks even. The narrative will really start to stick that he's injury prone, and the NFL might just blacklist the kid. They might just blacklist him. So none of this I want. We need, as far as Pickett playing, Pickett's supposed to play. Thanks, Try Hard, for the $1.99 donation. Man, let Tua rip up Flores defense with the RPO. What? That would be hilarious. That would be the best. Let him just RPO this freaking defense to death. Suck those linebackers in or freeze them and just drill them with fucking 7-yard darts all over the place. Just to freaking rub the friggin' needle in the eye a little bit. That would be hilarious. I don't think so. I wouldn't do that. If anything, he's planning for that RPO. But I got you. It would be funny. Next six games are very winnable. Craig, that's kind of my point. We got to go 5-1 these next 6. And it can't be the first one that we lose. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be 5-1 these next 6. It's got to. Clutch line. We went from week 3 champs to the pit of the division, typical Dolphins. I know, Clutch. And it's not over, but, dude, we're looking up at the Jets right now. This is not where we belong. Let's be real. And the thing that infuriates me and most Dolphin fans the most is that those were winnable games against opponents that we know talent, and the team we've seen the last 3 weeks before the losing streak started, we're better than. We're better than. We expect more. We should get more. And that's the irritating part, bro, is that, you drop a game to the Chiefs in a nail biter and the ball bounces, their way a couple times. Is what it is. You still pissed. You would love to beat the Chiefs, but it's not losing to the 2 and 4 Steelers if that happens. It's not losing to the Jets. I don't care if they got a winning record. You're the Jets. Get out of here. And the Vikings, who up until they played the Dolphins, their record was extremely suspect on whether they were really good or not. And now that they have the Dolphins victory under their belt, they're legitimately decent teams because now we bolster their win percentage as far as the public eye is. That's just a fact, bro. Tell me it doesn't. Because I promise you this, Viking fans aren't going, yeah, we beat Teddy Bridgewater. No, Viking fans are going, yeah, we beat the Dolphins. That good team that was, killing it out there. Thank God they didn't have Tua because we beat them. You know what I'm saying? That's how these things work. We can't have this. We gotta get out in front of all this mess. Color, I see you backstage. Whenever you're ready to hop up, just come on in. But, there's... Oh, let me put my headphones on. What's up, buddy?
I just came up for a second to reiterate your point about the third quarter, but whenever you get back onto that subject of scoring again, you could check that tweet that I posted in the private chat.
I meant to
I did the math myself, and basically it illustrates pretty much where we're at. I mean, what we got to do to change and where we need to fix stuff.
I've got a good article. Well, it's okay because what's his name? Chris Perkins. He's kind of a poker. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of a put lemon juice in the paper cut type of guy. And I get it. A lot of writers are. It's how you'll be surprised how many more haters show up than lovers. The haters want to be there for your downfall, so they're never gonna stop watching. Lovers will be like, yeah, I love that guy. I'll see him later. But Color did some really good numbers, and he's talking about average points scored in each quarter, and what we have for us and against. Now, are these are touchdowns, so it's not give it some.
Nope, it's all offensive scoring. Okay, so what I did was I minused in other words, for the Patriots I factored 13 points because one of the touchdowns was on defense. And then
that's how you do that. That's for
right. And also I gave credit to the defense for, in other words, I took off the touchdown that New England scored because the defense scored a touchdown. So those are the two disclaimers on the math that I did. So basically,
what I'm saying is that
it includes
when you say 2.3, when you say 2.3, you mean 2.3 touchdowns, right?
No, that's 2.3 points per quarter.
Oh, okay, all right, just making sure we're on the same page. Okay, so average points in the first quarter is 2.6, and the average that we're going against gets an average of 4.3. I mean, that is half in the first quarter.
So basically, we're being outscored 4.5 to 2.5 in the first
You're
quarter.
basically being outscored like 49% of the time or some shit like that.
Right.
In the second quarter, it's 7.8 points versus 8.6 points. Now we're closing the gap there, doing better in the second quarter. The third quarter, both teams are struggling. Defense is coming out good after the half, but offense still isn't putting up enough points. Us scoring an average 2.6 points in the third quarter. Us surrendering an average of 2.8. Very close, but the importance of it, if we could put that into the 5-point range, we would be crushing these games, really. We would make up for our slow starts.
Yeah, because what it illustrates, look at the second and the third or the first and the third quarter. If we add a touchdown to either of those quarters, we're on average beating every team.
Every team. And then the final fourth quarter, which to me is either A, junk time in some of the losses, or B, us coming back and Tua being pretty good in the first few games, especially this number's a little inflated from the
fourth
Ravens
quarter in
game.
Baltimore.
So we're scoring an average of 8 points in the fourth, but we're surrendering an average at 8.8.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why when you read these numbers.
28 of which came in one game.
28
in other
points,
words, that 8-point whatever that we're scoring in the fourth quarter, 28 of those came in one game in the average.
Well, and I mean, think of it too. I mean, if you did this in yards, it would be as such, but the yards we gained because Tua came back in that game, but also the yards we're throwing up with Teddy Bridgewater in junk time last week and other games just, pitching it up when they've, they're playing prevent. They're only bringing 3 or 4. They got their secondary playing quarters defense deep. You know what I'm saying? It's just
and ultimately, sure, a couple of the quarters are close, within a couple decimal points. But in actuality, we're being outscored every single quarter on average.
Yeah, and that's the real eye opener is that. So I mean, the numbers should dictate that color because we are 3-3 right now.
Exactly.
And the way these games have gone as of late, it's been questionable coaching, questionable special teams, definitely questionable O-line.
And if those numbers don't illustrate the point that you are what your record says you are, I don't know what does.
Well, yeah, I mean
look at the numbers on both sides. On both columns, the numbers are almost identical. We should be 3-3.
If you want to lie to yourself, be my guest, but don't lie to me and have me believe your lie world. You know what I'm saying?
Now that doesn't mean that doesn't mean this can't change. It's still early in the season. I just did this exercise to point out what we need to do to change. All we have to do is add a field goal to both the first and the third quarter, and we're on average beating everybody.
We're crushing people then. We're crushing people if we're not missing field goals in the third and not missing them in the first.
Or getting our drives stifled because of deciding to try out a rookie tight end in the middle of a crucial drive.
Well, it also illustrates another point that I think we've made quite a bit is that the team does adjust well. But in the beginning, especially on offense, seems like, the plans aren't working. We got to adjust. Now, I don't know what they need to do to fix that. I'm sure there's plenty of things they could come up with. But again, look, not trying to go all crazy and stuff, but this team, I expect a lot more out of this football team. I expect a lot more from what I'm buying.
That's really the point. We're not saying the sky's falling. What I'm saying is, if I did this exercise on last year's numbers, it would be identical. Nothing has changed. Nothing on offense has changed.
Color, this is kind of a point I made. So say even if Tua and Brian Flores butted heads the way we've been told, which is all but fact. The tell-all book is, in pre-production. But say they still just kept Brian Flores, but you gave him, with the offense that you ran last year, 2 new starting offensive linemen and Tyreek Hill as a weapon. We can go ahead and say Cedric Wilson, River Craycraft, whatever. We'll just put those into a couple more offensive weapons as those guys. We would be pulling our hair out, screaming over the statistics of what we would expect, whether Tua was on the field or not.
Exactly.
And I'm just trying to keep the same energy.
And Ronald, I really encourage you to stay. We're not trying to blame anybody. We're simply letting you guys decide for yourself, showing you these numbers.
He's a Jets fan. I don't need to explain nothing to Ronald. Get out of here then. Get. Freaking Jets fan.
Oh, he's a Jets fan.
He's a Jets fan. I don't know why the hell we explaining ourselves to him. Get. I don't even know why you're
here.
But
seriously, though, look. When you look at this and you say, okay, if you believe in Tua, look, we saw a difference in Tua over the first 3 games. So obviously,
you saw him progress from game 1. You saw him progress from game 1 to 2 to even game 3. You know what I'm saying? The defense could have done a little better with some stops. I think we would have scored more points because of what we saw out of the offense in that Buffalo game.
Right, and all I heard all offseason was, the troubles we have on offense are because we didn't have an offensive-minded coach. Well, now we do, and the offense is identical. I don't understand how anybody that sees any
Ronald.
The difference is we've got way more tools and weapons to be looking to be having the same production we did last year. There's something seriously wrong with that.
Yeah, I look again. Later, Ronald. I again don't. Context is fine, but don't hand me excuses, bro. Don't hand me excuses, especially when the money's flowing around and stuff like that. I get it. Third tackle, backup tackle, they're in there, whatever. Don't tell me how the cake is made. Just give me a piece of cake. You know what I'm saying? We go into all these details. We go into all this stuff. We do this. It's fine. But bro, I still need victories. You can't lose against the freaking Vikings when you hold them to 2-11 on third down. When you beat them like 11 minutes plus in time of possession. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I don't think we'll see the turnovers with Tua that we've been seeing out of these, since he's been gone. I don't think, we'll see some of the blunders, hopefully, and this should be better. And I'm going to hold this team to that expectation of it being better. That's the thing. That's why this game is so important. And it's on freaking primetime, bro. We can this fan base can ill afford a friggin' embarrassment on primetime with a loss. I don't care if it's a close game. I don't care if it's a shootout. Whatever it is. Shootout, Kenny Pickett and freaking doofus, Trubisky? I don't think so, bro. We better not lose some shootout to those 2 goofballs. That better not happen. Victory is in hand, and it better be. It better be. That's the facts, bro. It better be.
Yeah. I mean, there is no in between. I mean, I try to pick this game, and if I don't pick the Steelers to win, then I pick us in a blowout. I don't understand how. I don't see us winning a close game here.
No, I don't either. It's going to be where the defense gets some turnovers, offense capitalizes with the extra possessions, and the offense, neutralizes the woes on our offensive line with the quick passing game and hopefully some good outside running. And then finding spots in the zone when it's available. Because let's be real, their secondary, their safeties are good. Their corners play decent enough. There is, and I wrote this down in my notes, there is nice plays to be made in the secondary of their defense. Problem is, you don't get that kind of time even when they bring 4. Now, when they bring a 5th man, when they blitz somebody, you'd be lucky to get 2.5 seconds. So Mike McDaniel needs to scheme a pressure relief valve to to negate that kind of pressure they're going to find in pass rush. You also Tua's going to have to play sharp. He's going to have to call his protections properly and make sure that if he sees the blitz, picks it up, watches these things. I'm telling you, this team on defense is going to play sound. They are. Hayward's still there. What's his name? Wormley, he's still there. These guys up front, those are actually, I got it written in my notes. Cam Hayward and Wormley versus Liam Eichenberg and Williams. That's a matchup I'm going to be watching closely. Another matchup I'm going to be watching closely. One that I think that if Tua notices, when Robert Smollett is on Mike Gesicki, although he's decent of a linebacker, he turns his back to the to the quarterback a lot. Mike Gesicki should be able to body that guy. He should. You got to pick those matchups. Other one, I want to watch how so Najee Harris and their run game is not that good. But by the fourth quarter, because they stick to their run game, Najee Harris don't look tired. He's still running just as hard in the first as he is late in the fourth, and that's when he starts hurting you on his inside and outside zone runs. He's gonna chuck him in. We seen last week the defense get caught out of position and Cook break one, and that's because they stayed diligent. I'm gonna be watching our linebackers against him. Another matchup I want to see. We know Cater Kahoo's going to be out there, probably in some slot or taking the third wide receiver at times. They got that rookie Pickens. He's pretty decent. I want to see if Cater Kahoo can erase that kid from this game. Chase Claypool, he had 2 touchdowns last week. He's pretty decent. He's a big body guy. He's got that prototype that, wide receiver coaches and offensive coaches dream of, freak of nature type of guys. Can Xavier Howard, is he healthy enough to not let that guy get one on him and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? There is some questions, but our defense should eat at times. Our defense should eat. Their O-line doesn't pick up the blitz that well. Neither does Pickett. He makes rookie mistakes. He doesn't call out his protections. He's and I've seen this over a few games after watching some film. He's missed that nickel and that safety being down inside the box, obviously blitzing, and didn't call protections. And we're talking guys are coming free at him sometimes. We need to see a big play on something like that. Shout out to Brandon Jones, who should be able to get home once or twice potentially in this game. Kenny Pickett, he struggles with his accuracy all over the field. Middle of the field, 5, 8, 10-yard pass, he does all right. Anything beyond 10 yards and anything right around the goal line, he'll dirt some things. He'll throw a little low quite a bit. He's a rookie, so I'm not saying anything that's like bashing the kid. It's just a fact. There is some things to exploit with them. Their O-line's definitely not good against the blitz. There seems to be some communication problems. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. What else? Let me see. On offense, they will routinely, again and again and again, try to push the ball horizontally in the run game. And they'll use Sims, they'll use Pickens, they'll use insert other wide receiver that I don't know the hell the guy's name is here, and try to bring them out of the running game, or they'll bring them on a sweep from the other side. They'll do reverses. They try to get wide to get the defense spread out in the run game. Pickett also, and look for them to do this in a series. I don't think they design runs for him, but he has been told and is mega aware that, hey, when we do this type of play, and it's typically when they're on the right hash and they got the wide side of the field over there and they run to that wide side, and even if it's a short gain, but they then do something to the other wide side, you know what I'm saying? They go from the left hash to the right hash on some plays, and say it's like 3rd and even 7. Pickett will run that football because the defense will get a little wide on their deal, and he'll have running lanes. And if you allow him, he will run, and he can. He's not that great, but Mitchell Trubisky does the same thing. That's how I know it's being coached. I watched them both do the same exact thing, in where they get wide in the run scheme, or even in like a short passing game, and then they'll let their quarterback, chew up some yards in the middle, and then right after the quarterback runs, they do a crack block on the short side of the field. Pay attention, Dolphins. Listen up, Josh Boyer. Right after the quarterback picks up yards, especially for a first down, they will take the short side of the field and crack block and run, and Najee Harris will gash you if you don't account for it by keeping the safety close and not letting him get it caught inside. Mark my words, he will gash you on the edge. Seen him do it for the last couple of games. I'm telling you, I watched the film. There's things they do well, but there's not anything I don't think this defensive line, this secondary, this offensive firepower can't negate and beat. It's just a fact. So, that's it. This team, and I agree, it's not going to be a close win for these Dolphins. We're either going to, really light it up and beat them handily and kind of have some, embarrass them a little bit with some fumbles or some interceptions and some big plays from Tua to, wide receivers. I don't expect a lot of run game, but I'll tell you what, if Mike McDaniel figures out a way to get this O-line to set up blocks and have an effective run game against the Steelers, I will be impressed. I will be pleased, because it is not an easy task to run, especially on the inside of this football team. They hold the outside run well, and they hold the inside run even better. And that's just the way it is. Even when the Bucks tried, to bring an extra blocker and take it up the middle with Fournette, he was still getting met and stopped and stuffed at the line or for losses. So, again, Hayward is still catching penetration on those passing plays. The D-line is the strength, and their back end is the strength. That secondary level just over the linebackers is where you can eat. Passes 7, 8, 10, 11, those types of yards are going to be there. And if you can get the linebackers to, drift back a little bit, then you can run. If you get the safeties to come up a little bit, you take the deep shot, because they're going to be there. And as far as defense, play sound. Play sound. They're not doing anything too fancy right now on offense. They're really not. They got a rookie kid who has his inconsistencies, but he's got talent. I got to say, Kenny Pickett has talent. He looks like an NFL rookie, but he has some talent. Mitchell Trubisky, I would much rather see him, because that guy, dude, his passes are always like lasers that are low. To me, even though they got some heat behind them, to me, you'll see plenty of batted passes, and and he stares his guys down. So does Pickett, but Mitchell Trubisky still got blow. I can't believe that guy still stares his wide receivers down like that. Someone should be able to jump a route. One of these safeties or Xavier Howard should be able to jump a route if we see Mitch Trubisky out there, which I don't know. They say Pickett's going to play, but isn't he in like concussion protocol? I know he's in stage 4, but I don't know. I've another matchup I want to see is they expect to have Minkah Fitzpatrick back, and I'm going to go through the injury report here directly. Terrell Edmonds, Minkah Fitzpatrick, how will those safeties, because you'll see them both in coverage, especially downfield. They'll run an underneath zone, and then they'll pass it off to one of these guys, even with our fast wide receivers, just to keep them in front of them. If Tua catches one of these wide receivers streaking downfield, and one of these safeties turning their hips to guard them, All Tua really needs to do is just lay it out there as far as he can within reason to let one of his guys get it. But I don't know if you're going to have that kind of time. That's the thing. If they bring the blitz, you ain't going to have that kind of time. It's a fact. Unless Durham Smythe comes back fully healthy and they're bringing him in on max protect, then maybe you might get lucky. But I'm telling you guys, everything I'm saying after watching and studying, these are the keys to victory. And we can literally dice them up, open it up. Defense can do it. Defense should handle it. Offense just needs to do what it can do. I don't even need Tua's best game. I don't. In fact, I really don't want him playing hero ball and trying to do his best game. So please, Tua, live to fight another down in this game because you're going to. Their offense isn't going to push. Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky. Well, Kenny Pickett definitely. He can't really push it downfield. When he tries to, there's mistakes being made. There's opportunities for the defense, to say the least. Mitchell Trubisky, if you let him sit back there and he can have time to scan, he's got the arm to really lay something out, but he's still got that thing going on in his head where he'll, run around and put himself in worse position to where he should have just stayed where he was at. But yeah, it's a winnable football game, Color. It really is in a lot of ways. And if the offense does what Tua can do best, and I'm thinking about the Patriots game, we do that game with Tua now having a better feel for his weapons, not a growth type of game, but he has that type of game. I expect him to get 21 points on offense. I expect this offense to organically, in regular possessions, score 21 points. And then I expect the defense to come up with some extra possessions, whether it's a four and out, whether it's a whatever it is, and then they get another 10 points. Dolphins can, and I'm predicting 31 points. And the Steelers, it's going to be too little too late, but they'll have 19 points, and they'll be a junk time touchdown and probably a 2-point try to get it to 21 because of all the field goals, and that's what we should see. We should see 31-19 as this game.
Yeah, I think my pick was 35-17 or 35-14 or something like that. Because I think we're going to get all touchdowns. I don't think we're going to leave it in the hands of Jason Sanders to kick a field goal at all.
I think Jason Sanders finds himself with an easy 41, 42-yard pooch up and drills it in. That's what it is. But I don't getting over aggressive on offense. Mike McDaniel trying to make a statement to score 35 points against this team will result in a loss. To me, it's sound, paced, scripted football that will beat this team easily, and then opportunistic on the defense and taking care of business on offense. That's how this victory is in hand and will be won. That's just how it is, bro. I'm telling you. Because this defense wants you to try to go on them. That D-line, they'll bring a blitz. Now you got to block 5, and I'm sorry, when they bring 5, you ain't getting 3 seconds. You ain't getting 2.6 seconds. You're getting 2.2 seconds. And if they're bringing 5, you want to kind of hang on for that last little moment because you know you can hit them because they brought 5. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's a mismatch.
There's a mismatch out there. They brought 5. You should be good. But they're not going to – they bring a blitz. Throw it away if you got to, Tua. I'd rather live to fight another down because this defense should take care of business and then some with Pickett. It's really not too complicated. Really isn't. It's really, really not. We can beat this team. They don't run the ball very well. They, Pickett in his hands will have struggles because he's a rookie. He does some decent stuff, but he's still very green. Not a little green, very green.
And this cold front will be finished passing through by then, and it should be a nice muggy night.
God, man, I hope so. I hate cold, bro. I'm freezing my ass off. I hate it. I hate cold. Ugh, I hate the cold color.
I know, we're down to the 60s, and it's like I'm all wearing my sweater outside.
Bro, it was in like the 40s up here.
Oh yeah, you're up there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm up here in the
You guys
Yankee
probably
land.
had some frost this morning.
No frost, but I'm up here with all the Yankees. You know, I'm in Central Florida now, so
You're in northern, well, almost northern.
yeah, that's true. I'm in like North Central. I'm in North South Central, bitches.
You north of
South.
Titusville, you're north.
That's right. Guys, we've hit the hour mark. Hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you're new. Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. If you guys are watching there, come over to YouTube. Subscribe here on the network. Hit the like button. Share. Share the channel. Tell people in your family, your friends. Watch the show. Help it grow in all those ways. Also, guys, you could donate to the channel through Cash App and Venmo. And check out all the content. We got Tonk 7 on Tuesdays. As soon as we can get, Tonk back, we will, but his spot is still there. Like I said, he's just going through some personal stuff. And then we also got Color tomorrow. Color going to be doing his thing tomorrow night. And then Saturday night, late night exhale, as you guys know. Maybe you might catch a little coffee and a cup of Color sometime. And then, guys, you guys know you got me, El Capitan, every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Keep an eye out. I'm going to maybe try to get Brandon the Bookie on later in the show, but this Friday on TFTG, on the Finn's Tailgate, we're going to have TD. TD's coming in. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty with this team and the coach and the players, and should be crazy. I'm going to put my purple jacket on.
Hey, you mean Hillary let him come over to our neck of the woods, bro?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to get him in all kinds of trouble, man.
No. I'll make sure he's sent home with a goodie bag and not in trouble, bro. Fanatics link is in the description, guys. Support the show through hitting the link in Fanatics. There's also a link to our gear. Check it out. Make sure you guys are checking it out. Coffee mugs, get everything. Get all toasty with your beanie or a hat. And you guys can get yourself one of these sweaters and then go get your Dunkin' Donuts coffee in that Batman pajama. And when you get out to the game, make sure to fly your flag high and proud. Also, guys, Backroom Collections, offer code #TFTG to receive 10% off of all your purchases. You can't beat it. 10% off. It's free money. And you get the badass stuff that they got. Make sure to pick it up. And always, guys, as
it's
you guys
the
know,
easiest way to know what Color's coffee tastes like is to get one of our coffee cups with my logo on it. That way you're drinking coffee.
That's it.
Just like me.
Yep. And when you show up on the panels, when we have them, you can hold it up high and proud. And then also, you can donate through Super Chat, guys. We always appreciate Super Chat. It's the best way to get your questions in because the chat moves so fast that I miss some questions sometimes. So, and then also,
tailgate.
and then also, you can support the channel by becoming a member. Become a member. One of the great ways to support the channel, and you get some instant perks. You get all the cool emojis, as you guys see in the chat, all that good stuff. Holla for $1. So, Color, what is there anything that stands out to you that, there's a question here. I'll put it to you like this. On Twitter, they had the Space and Travis Wingfield, and shout out to Travis Wingfield and OJ McDuffie and Seth Levitt, the Fish Tank guys. They were on, and they had Larry Zonka on. He was fielding some questions. Didn't get to get my question asked, but I had showed up late. There's only like 25 minutes left, so it is what it is. I was just busy. I was doing my homework with my kid. But
what was your question going to be? Is there any chance you could suit up and run the ball for us?
Listen, Larry, why aren't you starring in movies? That was one of my first questions. I was gonna say, Larry, I know you had some you did American Gladiators, and you did some I think it was Knight Rider, one of those two. I know you did some shows. Well, I mean, to me, bro, the movie stars written all over you. Like, I know you were close. Like, how close? Stuff like that. Da da da. Is it still on the table? That I was gonna ask him, but also I was gonna say, listen, this team 3-3, starting off hot, going 3-0, especially with some divisional wins, but as of late, dropping 3. Now I think we all feel more confident now that Tua's gonna be out there and that this offense can operate at a higher clip, but yet to be seen as well. You know what I'm saying? If he comes out and continues more of the same, it's going to be ugly. But the question I was having for him, the question I will relay now to you, is what improvements do you think need to happen to this 3-3 football team? Not just to start winning games, not just to beat the Steelers, but to put us in contender status, because that's what we need. I want to win. I want to beat the Steelers. I want to win every game. But we need contender status is what I would hope for the most. That's what I want. And what would be what you think needs to happen for that type of status?
We're just never going to get there without depth, without being able to win against the Vikings with your backup quarterback. I don't know how you can be a contender. I mean,
that's true.
And again, we're going to find out a lot more. This is why it pains me so much that, you hear today that, Tua was prepared last week. Tua prepared himself last week.
He said in his press conference that he practiced all week as if he was going to start last Sunday.
So if you think that you can win without your starting quarterback, you better be right. And we just can't. I mean, 3 losses already this early. It's a long season still, and the contenders have 1 loss right now. That's just all there is to it.
That pisses me off. Well, changes, I think.
We have to score. Our offensive red zone percentage needs to get up to the same percentage as our defensive red zone percentage. Like,
we're averaging 16 points a game, Color. You ain't winning shit.
Well,
you ain't winning shit that way. To me, and this is
yes, if you take away the 28 points in the fourth quarter of the Ravens game, we are scoring 16 points a game.
I mean, I don't want to take away the 28 points, but I'm just saying, like, that was just off the top of my head. Don't quote me on the 16 points.
It's 20.6 to be exact is what we're scoring per game. 20.6. Still ain't enough.
Ooh la la. 20.6 still ain't enough. That's true.
That means every team that scores 23 points can beat us.
So NYC Fins, you said wouldn't be able to because he did the first 3 games. I know what you're saying. I'm saying, like, to Color's point, if he was preparing all week, last week, then if there was ever a game to shake off the rust, should have been last week.
Yeah, a game where we all accepted the fact that we were going to lose.
I never.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm saying.
But it seemed like they were prepared to systematically 4D chess be all right with this loss, whereas now we're in a must-win situation. Maybe not that our season's over if we lose, but I'm talking about all the pressure that comes with the fan base, the Tyreek Hill, all this stuff with losing in primetime to a team that we have 1 more win in, that we should have 3 more wins in, that is reeling right now with their best player on defense off, riding out with a young rookie, and, has struggled thus far to be real. And we should beat them. And if we lose to them, I mean, the wheels have officially fallen off this bitch.
I agree.
And the agree. Fire, and not that people are gonna get fired. Not that I'm out on McDaniel. Not that I'm out on Tua. But I promise you, as Trailer Park Boys would say, you're in a shit firestorm now. And as I said on Miss Finn's show earlier, shout out to Miss Finn's,
that our record will not show that the season is lost. Obviously, 4 losses is not a lost season yet, given what we've done in the past few years. But at that point, if we lose this Sunday to a team like the Steelers, at what point, at what indicator do we have that we're going to go on and change that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, if we've, then
you can say our record is it's not over yet, but what
right
indicator
now,
do you have that anything's going to be different?
Color, right now, we feel like we're going to win this game because of Tua. We lose, then what do we got?
Right.
Now
Who
what?
do we go to then?
Yeah, what do we
Who
say
do we
now?
hang our hat on then?
What do we say now? Well, Tua was shaking off rust. Well, rust be damned. How much more rust needs to be shaken off? Because now you can only lose 2 more games because the third will probably cost you.
Bro, I swear to God, and I already said this yesterday. If the excuse of rust comes out on Monday morning, I ain't even hearing it.
Color,
period.
You've been calling it out.
I will take off the entire week if that's the narrative that starts.
No way, bro. We will fight hard. We will pull out our swords and shields, and we will rush into battle to say, fuck you and the rust.
Because the point I'm trying to make is, if we lose against the Vikings because Tua had to knock some rust off and we didn't quite get going until late enough to where we lose by 3 points or something in that game, that's fine. Because what I would be saying right now is there is no way we're going to lose to the Steelers because Tua is already ready to go 100%. Now we have that question. What, all the way till halftime before we get things going because somebody hasn't played in 3 weeks? I don't want to hear that excuse. I'm not going to be having it, period. I'm telling you right now. So, yeah, all you guys that think that's going to be a bad take on Monday, get ready because I am not going to be hearing rust on Monday morning. I am going to be hearing we destroyed the Pittsburgh Steelers with our QB1 because he's badass. That's what I'm going to be hearing on Monday morning.
And also, Color, that Kenny Pickett, young quarterback, struggles mightily in primetime. Happens. Mm-hmm. It happens. They are kind of like us in the Bills game where we beat the Bills because really all the pressure was on them. In this game, if we lose, it'll be because the pressure got to us. Kenny Pickett on primetime, he's got pressure. But, like, losing to that is even worse in some ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be the only narrative where I'm thinking, how the hell did a rookie on primetime who has his shortcomings because of rookie, their O-line doesn't block all that great. They went into last Sunday, I don't know where they sit now, but they were ranked 30th in the run. You know what I'm saying? They're not that great. They've got their own struggles. We should be able to destroy this football team.
Yeah, Joseph, no worries, bro. It is me this time. It wasn't me the other night, but it is me this time that's got a chirping fire alarm. But currently, my apartment complex, we are waiting today and tomorrow. They are doing smoke inspections, so I have no intention of wasting my $10 on a 9-volt battery when they're going to put one in it tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it'll be gone by Monday anyway. The beep beep will be gone by Monday anyway.
You know what, too, Color?
Apologies,
probably it lines up perfectly with the inspections as well. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I hope they got a bag full of 9-volt batteries.
I'm just saying that's probably like timed as such.
Exactly.
You know? And rather than timing it a couple days before this happens, they time it a couple days after. You know, because then you'll go buy the 9-volt and put it in there. And take care of it. You know what I'm saying? It's probably found some actuarius that works for the fucking
If they're lucky, I might take a 9-volt out of one of my voltmeters or something, and you know.
So, their defense is the thing to overcome. You know, Miles Jack is playing pretty well for them since going to Pittsburgh from Jacksonville.
Hold on, bro. Newfoundland says if we lose, that detector won't need a battery. He's right, because that thing's getting chucked against the wall.
Everything's getting chucked against the wall. That's why Color won't be here all week. He's saying it's rust, but no, all his shit will be smashed, just like the ping pong table after the loss. Just like the ping pong table. That's it. I mean, listen,
Color
guys.
will definitely be concussed Monday morning.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of concussed shit. You know, there's a lot of narratives that are writing right. You know, it's Brian Flores. There's people that are like, yeah, Brian Flores knows the personnel. He knows these people. But it's a completely different scheme. Brian Flores ain't calling. Does he have some insight? For sure. But that narrative carries little water with me. It's a puff piece, guys. It really is. Now, there is something to say for how Stephen Ross will act in a, getting his wrist slapped, just being back from friggin' being in trouble with the whole Brian Flores situation. And, you know, just all that stuff. I mean, like, you already know. I don't even have to. What you got? Yeah, there
Problem
it is.
solved.
There's a lot of sidebar narratives, but none of those will be bearing over whether we win or lose. It's not going to be Flores with some insight of Tua or our defense's inner workings or Josh Boyer. I mean, there's water to that argument, but it's not what it is. To me,
Whoa, wait a minute. This motherfucker just chirped with no battery in it, disconnected from the power. What the hell, man?
bitch got
Is there
extra
some
battery.
kind of lithium-ion battery in it or something? Like,
They
why all
it's,
the batteries?
it's like beheading someone and them talking to you afterwards.
Yeah, or like in the horror flick, like ripping the phone out of the wall and then it ringing again, you know?
Thanks, Billy. Yeah, guys, you haters, hit the like button, you bums. Hit the like button, everybody, please. So, Miles Jack, he had 6 tackles, 2 assists. Terrell Edmonds, he's been always pretty good. He had 6 tackles, 4 assists, 1 tackle for loss. Miles Jack had a pass defense last week in the red zone against their tight end. But there is matchups. Their defense is going to, it's going to give to us some of the business. That D-line's going to be in our grill. Their D tackles and well, I guess he's a D tackle. They list him as a D lineman, but Wormwood, these guys in the middle are going to test Eichenberg. They're going to test Connor Williams. They're going to try to, win their one-on-one matchups when you give it to them and get pressure in the passing game. They're gap sound. They don't overcommit to open up holes in the run game, especially in between the tackles. Their edge setting with their safeties and their linebackers is pretty good, so it's hard to run outside on them. This is a good test, but it's not too dissimilar in the way we operate our defense, and honestly, it's not too dissimilar in the way they're trying to run the ball on their offense. We should be able to scheme, match up, and defeat this team, and it needs to happen on primetime because going into Tuesday 4-3 is everything's looking bright and we're getting things back on track. Going into Tuesday 3-4. And people have already pressed the panic button. People are already, calling for mofos to get fired. Let's trade Tua. Let's do all that. And I'm sorry, I'll be entertaining all of this stuff because I do with the, everything and anything goes here. Will it continue? I don't know. But it won't continue at all if you take care of business. We're celebrating the 50-year anniversary of the undefeated 72 Dolphins. Our owner's back in the building. We're going to have the greats in there. You better take care of business. You better. Because this is not a fan. This fan base is a powder keg right now. It is ready to go. Take care of business. Right this ship. Prove us right and the haters wrong. That, yeah, Tua gets here, hides the deficiencies. McDaniel and Tua speak the same language. This offense runs through McDaniel, running through Tua, running to the offense, and that it's going to be okay. And show the world on primetime that the highest rated quarterback in the NFL, Tua, isn't a fluke through the first 3 weeks, and that he's going to continue to do what he's been doing as if he never missed a beat, and that the only reason the Dolphins lost these last 3 games is because he wasn't there. And then that narrative can continue to live, at least for another week or two. That's just the facts.
Yeah, 4-3 feels totally different than 3-4.
Well,
Yeah,
listen, 3-4 I can almost live with, but not this
4-3
three, not
right.
this 3-4, not
Well, I
this
was gonna
3-4.
exactly. 4-3 will validate our 3-0 start.
That's right.
3-4 will validate our 3-game losing streak into a 4-game losing streak.
That's right, and it won't necessarily validate, but it'll breathe life and then some into all the opposing narratives of why this team will fail.
Well,
and it'll make excuses.
Well, yeah, but think about excuses. It. Four straight losses. People say, "Oh, like Alex, for instance, bless his heart, continues to point out that 3-3 is better than 1-4
or 1-7, 1-7,
or 1-7." Okay, but if we go on a 4-game losing streak, how is that any different? Except that you got your 3 wins beforehand instead of after. You still went on a 4-game losing streak, which amounts to 0-4 to start a season. What's the difference if it happens in the middle of the year or the beginning of the year? You still went on a 4-game losing streak.
The fact is, looking at a 3-4, you're a game under 500, middle of the season, getting healthier and could be all right. And that's a narrative that could have been written. But it's not a narrative because we've dropped 3 games and the narrative's already written. It's because our quarterback isn't in there and we're not healthy. Quarterback comes back.
As much as I love Alex, we are not a good football team. We can be. We still have the potential. But right now, we are not a good football team. If you consider a 3-3 team good, then you're watching the wrong league. You might as well go watch USFL. Become a Birmingham fan and await your king quarterback when he gets there.
And that reality becomes one step closer. So there's again, and I'll reiterate, there is some small things that can be exploited out of their defense. I don't know. It's going to be a little harder with Minkah Fitzpatrick out there, but they give up when they bring 4 and they drop. When they're showing pressure on the D-line and they don't bring it and they drop back, if Tua doesn't get happy, and the O-line picks up their blocks and hangs on to those 4, those seam routes in the second level are there and there to hit again and again, and we should be able to catch some of these guys.
Now, to his credit, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, for last week, Tua looked confident in his presser. He looked like this was no big deal to him. So
he looked like he's ready.
He looks relaxed, which is what I've said all year. The marked difference that I've seen in him is how relaxed he looks, and not just going up to the line, but actually during the plays. He got a little excited in that Cincinnati game and got himself hurt on that one play. But my point is, like, overall, we're seeing a difference in his mannerisms altogether. Like, the guy looks more relaxed. And he looked like that today in his press conference, too. He looked confident.
So shout out to the Cud, to the Cud, or the Cud 70. The Steelers are getting a lot of players back. I'm going to go. Thanks you for reminding me.
The Cuda 70, like the Barracuda.
I thought it was, the Cooter. Just, but anyhow, defensive tackle Larry, Ogunjabi, he didn't participate in practice today with a knee. Steve Sims, he didn't participate with a hamstring, which if he misses, it's going to... Huh?
Is that Keith's boy?
I don't know.
Sims?
I don't know if it's Keith Sims' kid. I don't know, but I do know that the kid is... He gets used in the passing game. He's all right, and he's their go-to guy on special teams. He almost brought one back on kickoff, and he had a nice punt return as well. So he is, if he misses the game, it will hurt them. O lineman Mason Cole, foot and ankle was limited today. O lineman James Daniels, ankle was limited. Minkah Fitzpatrick, knee limited. Miles Jack, ankle limited. Their cornerback Cam Sutton, hamstring limited. Akilo Witherspoon, cornerback, hamstring, he was limited as well. Their defensive lineman, Chris Wormley, who left the game early, ankle limited. That's one I'm going to be watching. Then they have tight end Pat Freiermuth, concussion, quarterback Kenny Pickett, concussion, CB Levy Wallace, concussion. All three of them had full participations today. So now, meanwhile, the Dolphins, we got full participation practices from Greg Little, Tanner Connor, and Elijah Campbell. So those guys are a lot better. Limited was Jalen Waddle, Skylar Thompson, Durham Smythe, Zach Sealer, Raheem Moser, Cater Kahoo. Xavier Howard was on veteran rest. Jerome Baker. All those guys were limited. Now, Cater Kahoo from his oblique, I hear that they expect him to play. Durham Smythe, I haven't heard a peep about him. Jalen Waddle should be there with a shoulder. Raheem Moser will be there with the knee. Zach Sealer with the hand, he'll be there. Skylar Thompson, who knows? Maybe he'll be our backup. That would be awesome with his right thumb. And Jerome Baker, he'll be there. So it's Durham Smythe I'm watching. It's Cater Kahoo I'm going to keep my eye on a little bit. But I think all of our players that are limited should be there. Now, players that didn't participate today, first one being Melvin Ingram, but he was on veteran rest, so I'm not worried about him. But Christian Wilkins with a hand injury, Emmanuel Ogba with a back injury, Keon Crossan with a knee, and obviously Teron Armstead with a toe. None of those guys practiced today. So we'll be watching. I haven't heard anything negatively about any of these guys missing other than Keon Crossan, who we know has been struggling a little bit. Maybe he misses. But Teron Armstead's the big one to watch in that whole deal. We need Teron Armstead, and we're going to keep our ears and eyes peeled for what's going on with Austin Jackson. Coach said that he was real close to playing last Sunday. Let's hope that we get him on it this Sunday. So that's it. We need everybody. We need to win this game. And I need this O-line to be as healthy as they can, because this D-line's going to do everything they can. And although they don't blitz all too often, if there was something that Brian Flores was going to bring, and what they will do against Tua is blitz them. They didn't blitz a lot against Brady. When they did, it worked, but they didn't blitz a lot against Brady because Brady, if he catches you, he'll make you pay for the blitz. Tua can do that, but will this O-line be healthy enough, and or can they hold up either way? Even if Teron Armstead is playing, how healthy is he? Even if Austin Jackson does play, is he kicking off rust? No excuses are going to be accepted. I'm giving you context. These are not excuses, because I will not let them be. But these are things to watch over the week. Really, just a lot of stuff, man. Just a lot of stuff. But what's up, Ali? Yeah, guys, smoke that like button. I know, Q, you guys get home a lot with 4. I know that. I've been saying it this whole time. But you guys don't blitz very often, but sometimes you do. And when you do get home. You'll bring that 5th linebacker. But these are the keys to the victory in this way. So that's what's got to happen. Let me close this up. Guys, hit the like button if you haven't. Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Hit that like button.
The main thing that concerns me, and really it's not a huge concern, but it's the key for them. If they can implement a similar type of game plan against us that we implemented against the Ravens last year, that's kind of their key on defense to beating us. You know what I mean? Like, getting those guys in the backfield.
They're not going to all of a sudden start zero blitzing. That's just.
But no. But it's the timing on those zero blitzes that's going to matter. You know what I mean? If they can get themselves 3 or 4 sacks throughout the game in well-timed sacks, if that stifles a drive or two, then
very rarely do they even show.
Then our point totals are looking like that stat line I showed earlier. You know what I mean?
So very rarely do the Pittsburgh Steelers even show, 5 to 7 on the line, down low like that. Mm-hmm. They really play, like a I don't know, like a real tight quarters coverage, and they're good. They run, their defense is good. You know what it is? They got really great communication in the back end. They're really great communicating from the front to the back. They're not really going to get too much out of position. They're not. Now, you can, and I've seen them do this, you can, like, if you take an inside zone run and they stuff it, you can catch their linebackers over committing if you can bounce it to the outside. And it only works after they got you on the inside. So Mike McDaniels, I'm giving away fucking gold over here on how to beat this team. I've watched it very delicately, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, okay. I got notes all over the place. I'm telling you, these are the way you're going to win. Soundly. If we try getting down in points and trying to come back is going to spell really bad for us. It really is. Because this defense, even if they sit back deep quarters coverage or half coverage to just, and kind of even try to let you tee off, they can still hurt you. You know what I'm saying? You got to impose on them by taking what they give you, but also scheming up ways to have room to make plays in the secondary. Deep shots, if you see them, take them, but don't get greedy. Do not try to push on this D because they'll get you, and they're good. So it's really what it is. So there's a lot of things, and the defense should chew up Pickett. If Pickett plays, they should chew him up. If Mitchell Trubisky plays, it's prime time. He's fucking done. He's done. He's done for. So defense will handle.
I read an article saying OBJ was signed by the Vikings before I fell asleep earlier. What was that fake?
I didn't see anything about OBJ, but then again, I've been watching film on Pittsburgh for the last whatever. I've been watching that, so I've been going in. Give me 2 seconds, Color.
Sure. Yeah, I'm checking on that now because I just kind of saw it flippantly. I didn't look at it deeply, but I thought it said he was signed by the Vikings. I guess not. I guess that was fake. God, and they think we pipe dream. Oh, Vikings fans pipe dreaming over there. That's funny. Although, with him and Jefferson, given that they're 5-1 now, that probably wouldn't be a bad move for them. But no, it looks like no. I guess that was fake.
Oh yeah, you got.
Well, it was just a quick look. I didn't really look. I didn't research it before I took a nap. It was kind of on my way to the bed earlier. Like, wait, maybe I dreamed it.
No.
What's up, Kane?
So all right. I have an interesting article here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait on that one. Let's do this one first. I got 2 articles we're going to get through. Guys, hit the like button. First things first is the Barry Jackson article. Dolphins Hill dishes out on reasons for record receiving pace and injury news, and as well as roster moves, which we're going to get into in this because some roster moves did happen. In a short time as a Dolphin, Tyreek Hill has adamantly answered any questions about whether he would produce as prodigiously, gosh, here he goes getting smart, prodigiously without 4-time Pro Bowler 2018 MVP Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football. Hill not only has maintained his elite production, he's actually has raised it to an even higher level. Hill leads the NFL with 701 yards, 45 yards more than the next wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, who's at number 2, and now is on pace for 1,986 yards, which would break Calvin Johnson's single-season record of 1,964 yards in 2012. God bless, I can't believe Calvin Johnson got almost 2,000 yards. Remember that? Johnson achieved that mark in a 16-game season, 1 game less. So even something else to think about with that freaking record. Mark Clayton holds the Dolphins' passing record yardage in a season with 1,389 in 1984, and Hill is on pace to obliterate that. Would breaking the NFL record be meaningful to him? For sure it would, he said on Wednesday. It would make me feel really good to do something like that. Just the magnitude of it. A 5th-round draft pick. A lot of people labeled me as a return specialist, not being your traditional wide receiver. The magnitude of that speaks volumes. If I break it, I would be grateful for the opportunity, grateful for what God blessed me with, and would hope to break it again if I do, which is, I love that. If I break it, I want to break my record. Nobody obviously views him as a return specialist any longer, but if a person sees me as a return specialist, maybe they need to go get their eyes checked or something, quoted from Tyreek Hill. Even beyond the yardage number, Hill is on pace with 141 passes, which could easily surpass his career high of 111 set last season. So how do you explain his numbers getting even better after leaving Kansas City's elite offense called by Andy Reid, quarterback Patrick Mahomes? Hill credits Tagovailoa, Mike McDaniel, and the receivers coach Wes Welker, as well as his own commitment to improving his craft. This is the year I finally had time to hone in on my career and focus solely on football, he says. Previous years, I came from a great system in Kansas City, great quarterback Mahomes, great coach Andy Reid. This is the year I fully understand the game and I understand where to be on the field. When I got here, the biggest thing was being able to catch the ball with my hands. I've always had great hands. When I got here, Wes Welker was hard on me this offseason. Coach Mike McDaniel was hard on me too, saying, Reek, if you're able to catch the ball with your hands, just run. Stay on route. Catch the ball with your hands, and your game will go through the roof. This year, I've been able to transition with the ball in my hands and make a few plays. I've been working on it a lot. Man, he needs to tell all this to Waddle. Last season, Hill was 99th in average yards after catch with 4.3 yards per reception. This year, he's 55th with 5.2. Wes is a great coach, Hill said. I view him as a Hall of Fame player and also as a Hall of Fame coach. The level of intensity he brings every practice stands out. No matter who you are, no matter how big you are, your bank account is, he's always going to hold you accountable. Hill is the first player in NFL history with at least 10 catches and 150 receiving yards in 3 of his team's first 6 games in a season. I'm trying to build a dynasty of who I am as a player and who my family is, he said. My parents raised no softy. Hill said, the better you do, the more haters you're going to have. They're probably going to have even more things to say about the player I am, like such as, oh, he's just a deep threat guy. He's only doing that because of the amount of targets he's getting. People are always going to find a way to find small things to say. The Dolphins agreed to give Hill a 4-year, $120 million extension after trading him in April, and he is living up to that contract. And is the contract living up? It is living up to that contract what's fueling him? Not at all, he said. I don't believe in pressure at all. I look at it like as if it's another opportunity to go outside and have fun at recess with my friends. I have an opportunity to play against some of the greatest athletes in the world and showcase my talents. For me, it's easy because I have a great quarterback, a great coach, and a great organization. For me, it's like going in a store, buying a Snickers bar, and just walking out. A lot of people give me credit for what I do because I'm fast, but you think about it, it's also the scheme I'm in. I'm so open all the time. Hill addressed a couple of other issues on Tungavaloa's return in the lineup this week. Having Tua, and he said this, having Tua will put us in the right direction. His leadership, his mentality, his whole approach to the game is on a different level. I felt the energy the day I walked through. On the curious case of the ping pong table, which was removed from the locker room last week, Mike McDaniel said Hill and the other captains wanted the players to focus on preparation, but now is set to return. Hill confirmed Andy Slater's report that he had purchased a new table on Tuesday. With tongue apparently in cheek, Hill said, I was so bad at ping pong. I was losing to everybody at ping pong. I was 10th worst player on the team. Raheem Moser and the quarterbacks were beating me. I want to be the best at everything. I do. I took it out of here. I went and bought one from my house to practice. When I'm good, I'll bring it back to the locker room. So he literally took it out, and then he's playing with one at home, going to get good, then he's going to bring it back. That's a real competitor right there. He's going to try to cheat or figure a way to get a competitive edge. So roster moves and injury news. The Dolphins put defensive lineman Trey Flowers and cornerback Nick Needham on IR. Nick Needham won't play again this season, but it is unclear on whether or not Flowers will be back. Two spots on the 53-man roster are now open. The Dolphins could elevate Brandon Schnell from the practice squad again on Sunday or move him back to the 53-man roster. Shell started at right tackle against the Vikings, and according to Pro Football Focus, graded out much better than Greg Little, who started at left tackle after starting at right tackle the previous 4 games. Opening day, starter right tackle Austin Jackson, who's eligible to come off of injury reserve, has missed 5 games with an ankle injury and didn't practice on Wednesday, which that's not a good sign. Starting left tackle Terron Armstead, who missed Sunday's game and most of the previous one, didn't practice on Wednesday and hasn't practiced in more than a month, which we don't know what. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see Terron Armstead at practice. That don't mean he ain't playing, but I don't like that we ain't seeing him at all. Whatever. And while Mike McDaniel suggests on Monday that Armstead's toe injury benefited by Armstead not playing in Minnesota, it's unclear if he'll play on Sunday against Pittsburgh, 8:20 p.m. on NBC. Besides, Armstead, 4 others missed practice on Wednesday. Melvin Ingram got the rest day. Keon Crossan, Emmanuel Ogbah, Christian Wilkins. I told you guys all this. 8 of 8 were limited. I told you guys all the limitations. Mike McDaniel said he's optimistic about Waddle being able to play on Sunday. With Kohu limited and Crossan sidelines, the Dolphins only have 3 healthy cornerbacks: Xavier Howard, Noah Benogany, and Justin Bethel. Justin Bethel has done decent enough, honestly. Crossan said he will be reevaluated later in the week to see if he can play on Sunday. Meanwhile, Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett had a concussion, practiced fully, and is in the starting lineup on Sunday. So, interesting stuff there. It's good to hear from the superstar. Everybody love. But all this is good. All this is great. Get me to win, and I don't give a damn about ping pong. This ain't ping pong I'm watching. It's football. So here's this article from Chris Perkins. And here's something that we hear a lot. You are what your record says you are. And here's how it's titled. Are the Dolphins the 3-0 team that opened the season, or are they the 0-3 team since that time? Shout out to the Sun Sentinel. There's a well-known phrase in sports that says you are what your record says you are. See, it's right there in the first freaking sentence. As Miami Dolphins have gone from a perfect 3-0 to a mediocre 3-3, the legitimacy of that saying is up for debate, even on the team. You could point out a lot of reasons for the current 3-game losing streak: injuries, the defense not producing turnovers, a porous pass protection, inconsistent special teams plays, many things. Wow, we've listed all of these in this up to this point in the show. So, who are these Dolphins as they make their way through Week 7 in the NFL season? Are they the team some thought could be AFC title contenders after defeating New England, Baltimore, and Buffalo? Or are they the team that had lackluster fourth quarter showings in the past 3 losses against Cincinnati, New York, and Minnesota? Questions we have. Well, the answer is kind of complicated. Some, such as running back Chase Edmonds, believe you are what your record says you are phrase is legit. I think when you get into woulda, coulda, shoulda, you start finding a way to make excuses for yourself, he said. So I'm a big believer in you are what your record says you are. Other players, such as Tyreek Hill, don't necessarily believe it's true. I don't make excuses for games that were losses, Hill said. But what I will say is I know that this team is better than that scoreboard. That I believe. This team is better than those last 3 games we got. That's for damn certain. I know why freaking Chase Edmonds feels like you are what you are, dropping passing touchdowns sometimes. But Tyreek Hill, a guy who is crushing it, got the most yards by almost 50 to the second. He's like, I've been playing damn good out here. We should be 5-1 at least. Still, others say the phrase is irrelevant because it's too early in the season. Coach Mike McDaniel has always said he's a process-oriented guy as opposed to such results-oriented guy. As far as you are what your records say it is, I think there's truth in that, he said, because to spend time saying, well, but this, that, or the other is a fool's errand. However, I think teams are whatever they define themselves that day. I think the Miami Dolphins are as good as their Wednesday. Mike McDaniel doesn't favor basing what he will eventually be an entire season worth of work in 6 weeks. He pointed out last year when he was an offensive coordinator for San Francisco, they won their first 2 games, then went on a 4-game losing streak, ended up playing in the NFC Championship game. He also pointed out in 2015 when he was with the Falcons, they started 5-0, but finished 8-8, then missed the playoffs. In other words, he's seen it both ways. I think people clinging to the record say that they might not be. Man, okay, let me see if I can rearrange because he obviously messed it up. Clinging to what their record says they are might be not focused on the job at hand, which is continuing to be better so you can play your best football at the end of the season, which is what good teams end up doing. Defensive tackle John Jenkins, a 10-year veteran who was on the 2020 Chicago Bears team that had a 6-game losing streak in the middle of the season but still made it to the playoffs with an 8-8 record, said the Dolphins are a good team. We're a good team regardless of the situation. That's what we're dealing with. He said, we're a good team. It's still early in the season. I take it day by day, week by week. To the man, the Dolphins say injuries aren't legitimate reasons for their losses. They say every team has injuries. And the Dolphins will take the major step into injury recovery process when Tua Tagovailoa returns from concussion protocol against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night. And I've stated at some point injuries do become a legitimate reason for losing. No team has endless supply of talented players. As far as the Dolphins are as a team, record says what they are. Yeah, you have to believe that's true because it's not just injuries that have caused this 3-game losing streak. There's also a -7 in a turnover margin, which I pointed out to you guys. The 197 yards of penalties the last 2 weeks, which I pointed out to you guys already. And errors such as dropped passes, blown assignments in the secondary and offensive line. They don't have an offensive identity aside from big plays involving Hill or or fellow wide receiver Jalen Waddle, and they don't have a defensive identity either. No one knows what to make of this team aside from Hill. So at this point, yeah, they are a legit 500 team. But there's good news. Dolphins might not be a 500 team after week 10 or week 12 or week 16. Any of those points could could be well over 500, just as they could be well below 500. We all give team checkpoints during the season. The Dolphins were great at the first checkpoint after 4 games. Previously, the first quarter Dolphin season, then they were when they were 3-1. We'll see what it is when at the end of a 17-game season. Even though can't really say it's a quarter because we used to break it up into 4, 8, 12, 16. Now that there's 17, but we still break it up like that. Let's be real, everybody. Now that they're 3-3, but there's no panic, no self-doubt, no rush to make major changes. It's the second quarter of the season, Atlanta Roberts said. On Sunday, it shows ain't no games won in the second quarter. You could have a fourth quarter comeback easily, or a second quarter comeback starting in this Sunday against Pittsburgh. To me, panic button isn't hit. Drop this loss, panic button is hit. And not that it will be all done, all gone, but bro, come on, dude. The optics, the way it feels, the way it looks, the way of it all does not sit well. If we're 3-4, granted only one game under 500, but losing in primetime to a team again that to me is defensively better than any of the last 3 teams we've played against, and offensively better than the Jets, at least as far as, you know, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't even want to think about it. I will talk about it. We will, whatever, but I gotta hope and envision where we're 4-3, because if we're 3-4 with a loss in primetime, it's just not gonna be fun. I mean, I'll be here talking shit with the rest of you guys, but it's not gonna be nearly as fun as if we're 4-3, man. That's just a fact, bro. It's just a fact. So, but yeah, guys, that's kind of all I wanted to get into tonight. Hit about the 2-hour mark. Was able to get it all in. It's faster than I wanted. That's awesome because El Capitan is tired. So, guys, make sure you're hitting the like button, subscribing if you're new. And, guys, make sure to donate to the channel all the time, anytime. And, make sure to check out Color tomorrow with late night color commentary. And that's it for me today. So, we'll see you guys next time. Fins up, everybody.